First of all, thank you everyone for attending. I know how everyone is so busy. So warm welcome to everyone. And if this is your first deep dive, a very warm welcome. So these sessions run on the first Wednesday of each month from 1 to 45. And they're linked to teaching, learning, and assessment. If you've missed any previous ones and you want to catch up, you can go to our YouTube channel. We record these deep dives and upload them to YouTube, and you will get a recording about a week later from today. But if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you'll get the recording much earlier. So with that being said, let's get started. So today's session is called Authentic Feedback at Scale. What we're looking at is how feedback can remain meaningful and human in this age of AI, even when the workload and student numbers make it increasingly difficult to sustain. So this session, I hope, is about the responsible support that we are providing for teachers, and very, very important to stress that it's not replacing your professional judgment. Before we get into the detail, let me just quickly outline how we're going to approach today's session. We're going to start looking at the current reality of feedback workload and its impact on both teachers and learners. We'll then explore why timelessness matters, the risks of getting AI wrong in feedback, and what responsible human-led support looks like in practice. Finally, I'll show you what's available today and what's coming very soon at the start of March with our new advanced feedback tool. To understand why this topic matters so much, we need to start with the reality of feedback workload in education today. On average, lecturers spend around 10 hours a week on feedback. That's about 40 hours a month just on marking and feedback alone. Nearly 70% of lecturers say feedback workload, as you would expect, feels very excessive. So when feedback workload reaches this level, it doesn't just affect planning or marking time. It starts to affect people. This workload really has a human cost. Over 3/4 of education staff report high stress levels, and more than a third are at risk of probable clinical depression. Marking is consistently identified as one of the biggest drivers of poor well-being. So when pressure reaches this level, even the most committed professionals struggle to sustain quality. And when workload becomes this unsustainable, people leave. Current data suggests that by 2028 in the UK, around 40% of teachers intend to exit the profession. And workload, or feedback workload more in particular, is a significant contributor to that decision. And it's worth, I think, also pausing here just a little to say that feedback isn't just time consuming, it's demanding in a very specific way. So high quality feedback is not just time consuming, it's cognitively and emotionally demanding and draining. Teachers are reading complex work, identifying misconceptions, crafting tone carefully, and recording evidence for accountability. So this is a very skilled professional labor, and it's not a mechanical process. I'm sure many of you here have seen this forgetting curve. You know, we relay this, especially to our students during exam times. But I think it has an impact, by the way, on feedback. So if feedback takes this much effort, the next question is, when that effort has the greatest impact. So research shows that without timely reinforcement, learning decays rapidly. So within an hour, a significant amount of learning can be lost. Within a day, that loss increases further. Feedback doesn't just need to be good, it needs to arrive at the right time. So this is where timing becomes critical, because even good feedback loses its power if it arrives too late. And this is the hidden cost of delay. So even when feedback is high quality, if it arrives too late, its impact is reduced. And learners will struggle to connect feedback to their original thinking, motivation drops, and learning momentum is lost. Delay turns good feedback into missed opportunity. And I'll tell you, personally, I did a master's in web design about probably 7 years ago. And the feedback, from my lecturer was like about a week apart since I submitted my work. And I can tell you for the fact, and I'm talking from the student's perspective, not the lecturer's, for every day that was delayed, my motivation dropped. And it was the first time I saw it from the student's perspective in their shoes. And it really does have an impact on motivation. But how can we deliver timely feedback? For example, when I was teaching in further education college, and by the way, I was also an e-learning manager, so I had some of that timetable removed from lecturing. I had 5 classes, and in those 5 classes, I had on average 20 to 25 students per class. Now, if we look at the maths, right, someone like me, typically with 5 classes of about 25 students, if it took 10 minutes of feedback per learner, that adds up to over 20 hours for a single assignment. And it's not even a single assignment. It's a single criteria, for example, P1 in that assignment. So this makes, timely, high quality feedback mathematically unsustainable without some type of support. When we see how difficult feedback becomes at scale, it's understandable that people look to AI for support, but this is where sometimes, if not done safely, ethically, and responsibly, things can get quite complicated. So AI can lack context and nuance, particularly in subjective areas like creative writing or reflective tasks. So it can produce feedback that is technically correct, but pedagogically unhelpful or demotivating. And these risks are real and must be addressed explicitly. That's why the way AI is designed and using feedback really does matter. So our response to these risks in TeacherMatic is this idea of the human in the loop design, what we refer to as now hybrid marking. So in TeacherMatic, AI acts as a drafting assistant, not a decision maker. And we reiterate all the time, TeacherMatic is only a strong first draft. And what you should consider is this rule of this 80-20%, where AI will do the grunt work for you, 80% of it, the heavy lifting, where the 20% is where you go and refine it, personalize it, contextualize it, critically evaluate it, fact check it, and make sure that this is a reliable reflection of the student's work. So you're using that 20% to review, refine, and approve it. So professional judgment always remains, always has to remain with you, the educator. All of this leads to an important distinction between what technology should do and what educators should always retain control over. So AI, as you know, is very good at handling repetitive mechanical processing, and teachers are very good at understanding context, how to motivate their learners, and how to inspire, coach them, and build those positive, meaningful relationships. So the goal, I think, of AI is augmentation. Never, never, ever, ever about replacing what you do. So it's there to reduce the burden so you can focus on the human aspects of teaching, learning, and assessment. When used this way, we can reduce this mechanical burden of feedback while protecting, professional judgment, right? So as a result, and according to McKinsey, these, world-renowned sort of consultants, they're saying tools like TeacherMatic can reduce workload burden by 30%, which, about 3 hours a week. So now we've talked about all of these foundations of, feedback and marking. I think it's time to move into the practice, and that's why most of you are here. You probably want to see this new generator called the Advanced Feedback Generator. So we've looked at some of the issues with regards to, feedback. So with this new generator, you'll be able to bulk upload student submission. So the new interface will allow you to upload your whole class's work, whether that's, Word. If it's Word documents, it'll convert it to a PDF. Now, obviously, the AI will then mark it based on the assignment and the student's work. And then what's fantastic about this new generator is that you'll be able to see what the AI has marked in the color purple. You'll be able to change what it's given in terms of feedback, but you'll also able to highlight the rest of the students' work and give your own feedback too, using PDF inline annotation. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so it's still in pilot and we're getting loads and loads of feedback about it. So what I'm about to show you today obviously is not the final version, and we're going to be soliciting lots of feedback from our community, and there will be continual sort of improvement by this. But you're all here to see this in action, and without further ado, let's have a look at what it looks like. Can we have a drum roll here? All right. So obviously it's closed to everyone, but I'm just going to go and launch the generator, which is this advanced feedback. Click on the use button, and this is the new interface. The first thing you're going to do is click on the assignment. And by the way, for those that don't know, we already have a feedback generator. Although it doesn't allow you to have inline annotation and bulk upload, it more or less works the same way. So if you need to get your hands on a feedback generator, it's already there. And because we are good for time, let me show you what that looks like, just in case for the people that have never seen it, right? All you need to do is just go to the search box and just write the word feedback. We have two, by the way. So we do have a multiple submissions, and you can upload up to 5 student submissions with this one. And then this is the single assignment here. So they're very similar, except this allows you to bulk upload 5, where this is going to allow you to bulk upload all of the classes' work at the same time. So you can get your hands on these feedback generators already. So let's just quickly look at how this works, just in case for people that have never seen it, right? You never know. Right, so I'll click on the use button, right? And the first thing you need to do, and it's going to be very similar to the one I'm about to show you with the new advanced feedback, really same type of options. So the first thing you'll need to do is upload your assignment brief, right? You can upload it using, a Word document, or you can paste the assignment of the text, or even enter the assignment title and details of the assignment. This would be useful for example, at the beginning of the year, I used to ask my students to write, a page of text explaining why they applied for my course and what their future aspirations are. Although I didn't have a written assignment, I told them, please do this. So that would have been fantastic, just to enter the assignment title and details of the assignment. In most instances, I would expect you would already have an assignment brief. So I'm going to upload that there. All right. So we've got the assessment here. Let's just go for this one here. There's the assignment brief right there. I'm just going to click on that there. So once you've uploaded it, the next thing you need to do is upload your students' work. Obviously, in the new one, you're going to be able to bulk upload. With this one, I'm just going to upload one student's work. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to upload this one right there. Okay. The next thing you need to do is decide what type of feedback you want to give. We've got formative, we've got summative, we've got basic summary advice, and advice to help the teacher discuss the submitted work with the learner. So you need to decide what type of feedback you want to give. All right, so I'll go for the first one here. You can decide how the work should be graded. If you use assignments, you can upload your own assignment rubric here. You can also upload one that's been generated by our rubric generator here, right? You can select a grading scale, and we've got really most of the grading scales available, as you can see here. And you can also create your own scale, right? Then you've got use the unit or similar specification as the basis for grading, right? So I can upload my unit spec there, and then do not grade the work, feedback only. Let's just go for that option. Choose your region, choose your level, and as easy as that, you just click generate. Something that would have taken me, I'll show you. It would have taken me, personally speaking, at least half an hour to provide this feedback. And to tell you the truth, I'm going to be very honest with everyone. For those that don't know me, I was a lecturer for over 20 years, spent over 20 years in the classroom. And I used to love giving in-the-moment feedback, live feedback, over-the-shoulder feedback. I used to teach IT, so I'd go up to the monitors and I'd point at the screen and say, have you considered this? This looks good, this looks great, but please do this. And then once I walked out of the class, it was just, as you saw from the maths, it was just basically impossible to give that detailed feedback to my 125 students. And to tell the truth, I personally didn't have the ability to write such considerate feedback and detailed like this. As you can see, this is what it's produced. This would have taken me personally over half an hour. So as you can see, this is where it's so important to look at this, check that this is a fair reflection of the student's work, right? And then this is extremely important, and it's going to be in our new generator. And if you recall, I explained this 80-20%, rule. This is where you need to apply that 20%. So, for example, I might say the conclusion needs to say that the student needs to provide more references and it needs to be in more detail. Right, and I click refine, and then it'll just change the conclusion. So whatever you're not happy with here, you can always use the refine to refine it before, of course, then you finally export it to a Word document where you can amend and edit it further. Right, so let's have a look at that. And There you go. So you can amend it as much as you like and then edit it finally. So that's what we already have in place, correct? So you saw the process. So what I'm going to do now is just show you what's changed in the new advanced generator, feedback generator. So the first thing you're going to do is add an assignment. So this is the same process as before. First, you'll need to set up your assignment by clicking on the Add Assignment button. Here, you'll put the assignment title. In fact, I'll show you what the assignment looks like. This is the assignment here. I'm just going to copy that title, just exit that, say no to that, and then just paste that there. So now I'm just going to upload the assignment that I've just shown you. There it is. Double click there. Type of submission. It'll be a text-based work, as you saw, but I can also upload graphical and handwritten work. Once I've done that, I'm going to click on both of these options. And if I want the PDF inline annotation, make sure you also select the annotated PDF. Now, just like before, you decide what type of feedback do you want to give. I'm going to go for detailed formative feedback to help improve learning in the second person. So when it gives feedback, it'll refer to the learner as you and not the learner. So I'll go for the first option and then decide how the work should be graded. Now, if I have my own assignment specific rubric, I can upload that. I can use one that's been generated by TeacherMatic. I can select a grading scale, and as you'll see, we've got quite a comprehensive grading scale over here. If it's not listed, which I'd be surprised at, but if it's not, then you can go and create your own here at the bottom. So I'm going to go for excellent to poor here, right? I think that's what I'll do. And then I'll select the region because it does have an impact, and then select the level. Once I've clicked save, I'm just creating now the structure. I'll have now the ability to upload the students' work in bulk. And to do that, you just click on submissions and you can just drag and drop them there if you like, right? So drag and drop, or you can click on upload file and just highlight them all here. As you see, they are Word documents, but the system will convert them into PDFs for you. So I'll click on yes. And now they are being processed and at the same time also being converted into PDFs. So once they've been processed, you can view the feedback here. Remember, this is only in version 1. There's going to be many more updates. But if you recall all the way at the bottom, there'll be an area here to refine this feedback even further in this interface over here. So you can view the feedback and refine it further. You can download the PDF directly. So if you want the hybrid form of marking using this inline annotation, you're going to need to click on the View Edit PDF. And anything that's been highlighted in purple is what the AI has done over here. You can click anywhere in purple and it'll open up the box for you. This will change where you can drag it more wider, but for now you can see what it's done. This is where you can go and amend it if you like and change it. You'll see that all the AI feedback comments are in purple, but you can easily now highlight, say, another sentence over here and then change the color and then add your own comments. Once you click outside, that will be saved automatically. All right, don't worry, that will be saved. You can click back and see your comments there. So if you want to see all the comments, you can of course, click on show all the comments here. You can click on any of these comments and it'll jump to that specific comment, right, as you can see there. So I can click again, see the comments in purple that AI has carried out. If I want to change something in particular, I can click there and it'll go to that particular comment there. You can see the information also here, and I can change the student identifier here. So it's really recommended that you don't upload any personal identifiable information. Although we are GDPR compliant, we don't train any of the AI models with any of the data you upload, and all our servers are in the UK. Nevertheless, we advise not to upload any PII information up there. Okay, so you can go through to the next page and then just annotate. You can download this. This will be saved automatically in future versions of this, and you can also cancel your changes here. Okay, so as easy as that. That's now the new interface over here, and you can download all the results at the end. So that's what's coming very soon. It's only the first version. We're in the process of getting a lot of feedback about it, but do look out for this new advanced feedback generator coming at the start of March 2026. So I did warn everyone, it is in beta. Obviously, there's a lot of work to do, but this is what you can expect by March, which is 1 month's time. All right. Hopefully, you're excited as much as we are about this latest development with our feedback generator. And just to let you know, by the way, that we are providing this, for free as part of the 150 generators. Obviously, if your organization is already a subscriber to it, where other platforms are just providing feedback only at a considerably more expensive price, where we are just a fraction of the prices that our these feedback platforms provide. This completes my presentation, and I do have a few final marks. So as we come to the end of this session, I just want to bring this back to a very, very, very important point. So this isn't about automating feedback. It really isn't. It's about, I think, protecting the quality with this new hybrid form of marking. And very important to stress that AI feedback should always supplement, not replace human feedback. So the goal isn't to automate education. It's to give you that time back so you can do the most important things with your learners, which is nurturing them, motivating them, inspiring them and guiding them. So it's really to give you, as I said, time back, energy back, so you can connect meaningfully with your learners. And I hope that we'll be able to do that with these new updates. So want to thank you very much. And as a reminder, we do these deep dives the first Wednesday of each month. So do look on the website to sign up for our future deep dives. Thank you very much.